Hi everyone. Now that we have done the data cleaning, let us work on our Tableau dashboard. So in the first video, I will show you how to find the cost by source head and the week, the cost by source head by also showing the grand total, showing the source total, creating a reference line to see the values above and below, and also the cost by week. So this is what we are going to create. The first one will be a regular table with colors in it, cost by source. Then we have a Sankey that will show us the cost by source head and the week. We have cost by source head and the grand total. The cost by source head, but we also have the source total and the grand total. The cost with reference line and the cost by the week. So we'll start with a fresh Tableau file and I'll show you how to create it from scratch. So let's connect to our Excel file. We will take the clean data. There's only one sheet in the workbook, that is the one that gets picked up. Click on sheet 1. Now the first one that we are trying to create is this, which is the source head. Then we have the week and then we have the cost. So the first thing I'll do is to drag my source on top of the source head so that it creates a hierarchy. Press OK. Now we can keep the source head in the rows. We will keep our week in the column. Now week right now is shown as a measure. It's green in color. So we should right click and convert it into discrete like this. Now we can take our cost, add it to the text. We can also add our cost to the color, and then you can play around with it. I can also select my highlight table and it looks like this. So this is what we were trying to create. If you also want to see the grand total, we have to go to analysis, totals, and then add the row grand total, and one more time totals and show column grand total like this. We can also select entire view to fill up the entire page. There we go. Let's also call this my cost source. The next one we are creating is cost by source head and the week. Now this is a Sankey. It is available as a part of Tableau visualization extensions, which means it is not inbuilt in Tableau, but we can download it. So we click on the drop down, select add extension. We have Sankey here. Open. Okay, now we want the week, the source, and the cost. So we will take our week to the level. Now if you notice, we're not allowed to do that. If you notice, the moment I try to drag my week to the level, it does not allow me because it's a measure. So first we'll have to keep it in the rows or columns, but you notice even that is not permitted. So the only way is we'll have to right click and then change the data type. We can make it discrete. Now when I put it in the level, then I can also keep my cost in the link and my source also in the level like this. So right now it is showing us from week 1, 2 and 3 where all the cost is being spent. And if you only want to see one source head at a time, we can keep the source head in the filter. Let's select both of them. Right click and then show filter, and then you can choose whichever one you want. So this would be for TV and this would be for digital, like this. So this is what we were creating. Even though here we have done week and source in the level, and we have cost in the link. Oh, we have source in the detail as well. So I'll add my source to the detail so I can see the name of the source as well, like this. The next one we are creating is the cost as per the source head, and we also want to see the grand total. So it shows us the number 1160 as well as the percentage 12.55. So first we'll take our source head, keep it in the rows, click on the plus sign. We will add our cost and then convert this into a bar chart. Let's fit the entire view. We also want to sort the data like this. And if you notice, we don't want to see the null values, right? So I can simply keep my cost in the filters, and we will say that we will start with 1, and this way the null values will not be shown. We can now drag the cost in the label. Like this. But in addition to the cost, we also want to see the percentage. So we will have to convert the cost from here, quick table calculation, and we will select percentage of total. And now we can drag the cost one more time on the label. We can change the order if we want. And as you can see, now we have the numbers coming 2 times. Then of course you can keep the cost in the color as well to get this. This is what we wanted to create, like this. The next chart is again very similar to this one, but in this, if you notice, we have the percentage of total and we also have the percentage from that source head. What that means is 12.55% of my total overall cost is coming from Google, and 38.54% means that 38.54% of my digital cost is coming from Google, like that. So we will duplicate the sheet. Let us keep the cost one more time in the columns, like this. Okay, what we want to do now is this number, if you see 12.55%, is coming in both places. So we have cost coming 2 times. So in the first one, it is percent of total, and in the second one also we have percent of total, but I can go to edit table calculation. Let's do that one more time. Okay, let's try it in a different way. Let's go to compute using, And now you notice rather than selecting table down, we are selecting pane down. Now, if you look carefully, what it does is, let me just close and reopen my file once. So let me save as. Yep, here we go. And if you see carefully, now we have 12.55%. That means when I'm looking at table down, that means out of the total spend across all the sources, it is 12.55%. But if I look at my pane down, that means within the pane, within digital, Google is 38.54%, like that. Now we want to do cost with reference line. So cost with reference line. We have our source head, the source. Let's keep the cost. We'll make a bar chart and then swap the rows and column like this. Right click and then rotate label. Here we go. Remember, we don't want the null values, so let's keep the cost in the filter and then make it starting at 1 like this. Now what we want is a horizontal line, and that line can go up and down, and then accordingly the colors will change as well. For this we will have to create a parameter. So we click on this small drop down, we create a parameter, and I want to call it choose my reference line. This would be a range between, let's say, 10,000 to 12 lakhs with a step size of 10,000 as well. Right click and then show parameter. Now we right click on the y-axis, we add a reference line and we choose the ref line that we created. And this is for the entire table. Now as you can see, when I move my parameter, the line also moves like this. The final step left is we want two different color. So we will go to analysis, create calculated field. And we say this is our ref line color. So if the sum of cost is less than equal to choose ref line, then we want 0, else 1, and then we want to end it like this. Let's try that again. Choose ref line color. So if the sum of my cost is less than equal to choose ref line, then 0, else 1, end. And now this can be put in the color, and as you can see we get two different colors. We can also change the colors if we want. Zero and 1. So let's change it to discrete. Yeah, here we go. So now we can change the color. 0, which is lesser, will be gray. 1, which is higher, will be green. And here we go. Like this. And the final one for this video is cost by week. Like this. So source head, source, cost. Let's make a bar chart. Now we'll keep the week in the color. On the cost, we can do a quick table calculation, which is percentage of total. One more time, click on it, and then we want to compute it using table across, like this. Let's also filter the data to remove the null values. And now if we add the cost to the label, we can see the percentage like this. You can also show both if you want. I can show the cost as a number as well as the percentage. So in this video, we have seen how to create a table, the source head, the source with a hierarchy. We can see the grand total rows and columns. Then we created a Sankey, which was a Tableau visualization extension. Here we have our grand total. We have our grand total as well as our source total. We have our parameter, two different colors above and below the line. And then of course we have our cost by week by showing the row as 100%. So each row is 100% and it shows us the breakup across the 3 weeks.